Hey everybody, I hope that you can hear me. I am driving on the interstate as I just got off work, but I want to make this video. I haven't made a video in a really long time, and I always say I still want to. I still want to make videos. I'm just working a lot. I'm getting married in 13 days. We have our honeymoon, and then Black Friday is coming up. I work at Best Buy, so Black Friday, holiday season's a really big deal for us. But the iPhone XR, it's what I'm using to record this video. It is my first 24 hours with the iPhone XR, which just so happens to be my very first Apple product. I've never owned another Apple product before this iPhone X. Previously, I had a Samsung Galaxy S4, an S6, and an S8. And I actually traded my S8 for this device. I did a pay up, so I paid up AT&T and then gave my phone back. And then I actually have an Apple Watch now. It's my wife's, or soon to be wife's. It's hers because she has an iPhone 6S. She's always had an iPhone actually. And I had a Gear S3 Frontier to go with my S8. The reason I had the Gear S3 Frontier is because at work, they don't like us to have our phones out on the sales floor. Completely understandable. But if I get a text message from wifey or mom or whatever, I would be able to, quickly look at it and discern whether or not it was something I needed to respond to. So I used Geek Squad protection on my watch and was able to get pretty much the full amount back because I had bought a refurb one. I paid like $190 something for it, so I was able to get my money back on that because it was screwing up. The Bluetooth wouldn't stay connected via Bluetooth. It was intermittent, which leads to me missing notifications on the watch. So I used that, and then I put that gift card towards the iPhone XR, and then pretty much commandeered the wife's Apple Watch. So this is the first 24 hours with that. I got it last night at my work, which is Best Buy. I got the, what do they call it? Coral blue? Or I guess it is just blue. Anyway, I wanted a white one. And that's one of the big selling points with the iPhone XR is the colors. I'm not too big on like bright or pastel colors. So I wasn't too keen on coral, yellow, or blue. I wanted a white one or a red one, which my store just so happened to not have any of them except for black, coral, and blue. I didn't like the way coral looked. It looked pinkish to me. I feel like if coral would have been a burnt orange or metallic orange, it would have been really cool. But coral, it's a little pinkish, and I didn't really like it. So I wanted a white one. I had drove back to work because I originally got off work. I came home, then I went back to work, and I was texting him. I said, "Hey, does our store have a white one in 128?" And he said, "Well, no, we don't have white, but you should get blue." And I thought, well, blue, I don't know. But he talked me into it, and it turns out I actually really like it. Now that I've had some time to really look at it, there's some color shift that happens with it in different lights. So sometimes it looks brighter, sometimes it looks darker, and the metal aluminum around the sides with the blue coloring on it actually looks really cool. In my opinion, I wish they would have made it a blue, kind of like a blue Best Buy shirt, or like a Indianapolis Colts, like a dark royal blue. I feel like that would have looked better, but in my opinion, the blue looks pretty good, and I'm happy with it. I also got the 128 instead of the 64. One, because my store didn't have any 64s at all at that day, and it's only $50 more for double the storage, which equates to like $1 something more per month on your AT&T or Sprint or Verizon bill. Best Buy uses AT&T, Sprint, Verizon to upgrade phones. I'm on AT&T, so it raised my bill, or raised the phone purchase by $1.66 for 30 months. So it was an extra $50 for double the storage. Knowing that this iPhone doesn't have expandable storage, you need to get the one you think you might grow into rather than the one you think you need now. So for $50 more, it is highly, highly recommended that you get 128. Second, Everyone on the internet is talking horrible trash about the screen. It is 720p, it's LCD, Apple's calling it liquid retina. Again, I don't like Apple. I never owned an Apple product, and it was on purpose. This screen is great. It looks fantastic. I can't see any pixels. The colors are great. It's because it's an IPS panel. There's a little bit of blue shift. So if you're looking straight at the phone and you tilt it a little bit, it does transition colors to bluish hues a little bit. But overall, I think the screen looks fantastic. It's 6.1 inches, which sits right in between the other two phones. So the XS is 5.8, along with the 10 is also 5.8. The XS Max is 6.5. So I have all this memorized because I work with cell phones at Best Buy, so I have to know all this stuff. The only other difference is between the 10, XS, and XR. The XS has, and the XR rather, the XR and the XS have the A12 chip, which is the fastest mobile chip on the market. It blows away like the Snapdragon 855 or 885 or whatever it is now. That isn't to say that chip isn't fast. It's just this chip is way faster. Now, for the chip, the screen resolution, and the camera isn't dual lenses. It doesn't have the telephoto lens or the second lens. Although the cases for the XR do have a spot for the telephoto lens. So I feel like case manufacturers got a little lazy and just decided to not make a new mold, just make it a little bigger. And that's fine. I have two cases already. I have a Speck Case, which is actually really protective, but it's a little bulky because the phone is relatively big in the hand. It does have a sweet spot feel, where it doesn't feel too big, but with the case on it, to me, it feels a little big. So today while I was at work, it was a little slow, so I went into the case aisle and found a new case that I really liked, and it's a little thinner. It's a platinum case, and it has like wood grain on the back. I really like it. This video should be a good representation of low light front camera situations, because I have it, the iPhone XR horizontal with the front facing camera. So, and I think it looks pretty good on this screen. It's really bumping around because I'm pulling in to my apartment complex. So the next thing is, so we went over the camera. It's not dual lenses like the XS and the 10 and XS Max. But that isn't to say that it doesn't take great pictures, because it clearly does. It can also record in 4K. Even though if you were to take a picture in 4K or record in 4K, you wouldn't actually be able to watch it on the phone in 4K. The big thing to me so far today, the big realization is this battery is amazing. So today we had the power go out at work for about 40 minutes. So security lights were on, P.O.S. was out, we couldn't do anything. Without electricity, Best Buy there's nothing we can do. So I had been helping this old couple, and they had upgraded to iPhone 8s from iPhone 6s, pretty big upgrade, and they wanted ZAG screen protectors put on. It's something I can do. So right when I started putting them on, the lights went out. Great, I can't see to put the screen protector on, because you need it's actually nice to have the fluorescent lights because they get reflections off of the glass screen, and you can see dust or fingerprints or anything and get that off before you put the screen protector down. So it gets dark, and I turn on the flashlight on the XR, and I try to hold it up while doing it, and the customer is actually like, "You want me to hold that while you put the screen protector on?" I was like, "Sure." So I had the flashlight on for probably a good 20 minutes straight. Okay. I woke up at 5 in the morning and took it off the charger and then fell back asleep. So it has been off the charger from 5 in the morning, and it is now 6:36, and I'm above 70% battery. And I've used it pretty heavily today. I used my phone to look up inventory on Best Buy, the Best Buy website. I check price matching. I do all kinds of stuff, looking up information for products. If I don't know what the customer wants or needs, I'll use my phone to look it up. So I think that's really amazing to have above 70% on a 7-hour shift, using it relatively heavily and having the flashlight on for 20 minutes straight. So, and if it came down to putting an OLED in it and having that whatever weird resolution the OLED is, or having this LCD and bumping the resolution down, even though like I'm telling you, this display looks amazing. It looks really good. And I'm not an iPhone guy. Like, I've never owned another iPhone. I've never owned anything else Apple. So just the fact that this made such an impact on me, like how easy it has been to use, how easy it's been to how easy it is to learn, and how easy it is to like transition. So one thing about an iPhone, I had no idea that this did this. I was sitting in bed at night, we were going to bed, and I was like, oh shit, I haven't connected this phone to our Wi-Fi. I've been downloading apps and shit. My data's going to be gone for the month. So I start going through the motions to get connected to my Wi-Fi. And then my fiance is sitting there, and she said, it just asked me if I wanted to share the Wi-Fi password with you. And she did. And then I was connected to the internet. And I had never heard of that as a feature or anything like that. So our two iPhones talked to each other and said, hey, this guy on your network is trying to connect. Do you want to just give him the password so he doesn't have to type it in? She said yes, and then I was connected. Now, I don't know if that's an iOS 12 thing or what, but Jacob, our Apple rep at Best Buy, I talked to him about it, and he said, I've never heard of that. So it must be like an iOS 12 thing. So overall, I think this phone is really good. So I got a $200 gift card for my Gear S3, and I put it as a down payment for the XR. So my payment for a 128 gig blue one on AT&T for 30 months is $20 a month, which is actually $5 less than what I was paying for an S8. Now the S8 is a great phone. I think it has an AMOLED display. It really has a good display. It's a good phone. But in the time that I've had this iPhone, I have had 0 app slowdowns. I have not had to had an app say, oh, something went wrong, and close it and start again. Obviously, I've only had it 24 hours, so that stuff, I'm sure it'll happen. But iOS is really, really, really fast. Really fast. And just like the integration with the watch, I can ask Siri something on my watch or on the phone, and it'll show it on my watch, or on my watch and it can show it on my phone. And that's something that the Gear S3 just didn't do. I can also get GIFs. Don't say it's a GIF, because I will fight you to the death. My fiance was sending me GIFs on my watch, her watch actually, and they were coming through perfectly plain, crystal clear. Whereas on a Gear S3, if you sent me a picture and it showed up on my watch, there was no way I could see it. It was super grainy and pixelated. I couldn't, even if I clicked on it, it took up the whole screen. It was awful. So just the first 24 hours has I'm really blown away by the ecosystem. Because again, I've never owned a Mac computer, an iPhone, an iPad, an iPod. I've never owned earbuds by Apple. I was given a pair. I didn't pay for them. But I'd say really give this phone a thought. A XS, the only real difference, there's 3. The telephoto lens, the extra gig of RAM, which I haven't noticed that you need that, which it might also have to do with the portrait mode stuff, because portrait mode on the XR is a little different than on the XS and XS Max. Portrait mode will only detect human faces and work that way. on the 10R, and you can do portrait mode on other objects and animals and stuff on the 10S. So that extra gig of RAM might go into processing that type of stuff. But the screen, the telephoto lens, and the extra gig of RAM. That's it. Now, if those things are worth an extra $250 to you, by all means. The OLED screen looks great. I play with one all the time at work. We have an Apple table, 2 Apple tables actually, with 10s Max, a 10, the 10R, and and iPads, and I can screw around with them between customers. But if you're looking for a new iPhone, I'd say give this one a shot. Someone who's never owned an iPhone before, I'm really blown away by it. The quality is really good. Wireless charging is on point. I didn't even have to buy a new wireless charger. Kudos to Apple. Like, my God, I'm surprised they didn't create their own proprietary wireless charging standard. So my QI, I hate calling it a Qi wireless. I call it a QI. But I have a Samsung wireless charger that I got for free with my S8 that I can use on my 10R. So this is just going to be a quick video. Hopefully I'll upload it today. But this has been my first 24 hours with the iPhone 10. Sorry I didn't have any B-roll like the other YouTubers. There are a lot of great YouTubers that are covering this phone, and you can by all means, if you don't like this video, download it to oblivion. But if you did, hit the thumbs up. I'm gonna go into my future wife, and maybe eat some dinner and go to sleep. Okay, peace.